Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks again for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started here today. My name is Misty Hobroch, and I am a marketing manager here at ReachForce. And ReachForce is a marketing data management company focused on helping B2B marketers deliver growth through our data quality solutions. I'm excited about today's webinar, Let's Get Personal, Show Me Your Data. Although our focus is not personalization, data quality management is, and you can't personalize content without quality data, right? So I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us on today's webinar. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the agenda here. All right, so today we will discuss a widely talked about topic in the marketing realm right now. So inbound personalization, also web personalization, and how data enrichment and quality data really fuel a successful inbound personalization approach. So we will discuss how quality data fuels successful inbound personalization, web form best practices to help accelerate conversions, and then we'll also discuss the benefits of capturing high-value lead data at the point of entry in real time and how critical that is. So just a few housekeeping items before we jump in and get going here. Everyone will be in listen-only mode throughout the webinar, and I encourage everyone to please type in any questions that you might have as they come up into the chat box and submit those throughout the webinar. At the end, we will have time for a brief Q&A session, and if your question is not answered, we will definitely follow up with you after the webcast. All right, so let's jump in and get going here. So inbound personalization, what is it? So it is a marketing strategy that focuses on delivering personalized messaging to your prospects and customers, right? So how does inbound personalization work? So what it does is it analyzes historical data, analytics, and also customer behavior, therefore really allowing you to deliver that optimal messaging at the appropriate time and engage with your customers and prospects on a deeper level. So really having that ability to deliver valuable content that it's going to really resonate with customers and prospects is proving to be extremely effective with increasing lead conversions and also better pipeline forecasting as well. So in our day-to-day, we all use personalization, right? I mean, for an example, if you're hosting, let's say, an event in the Seattle area and you only want to target CMOs, having the ability to be able to send an email based on a prospect's location, title, and being able to address them by their first name can really help resonate and help you connect with them to create more of a personal connection, right? And a critical part of this is making sure that the data in your database is clean and verified on an ongoing basis. So considering that 82% of the people who come to your site are not potential customers, you really have to do more than just drive them to your site. In recent years, the amount of data that is now available, it's huge, right? And it really allows you to drill down and deliver optimal messaging to your prospects or customers that they can really relate to, something that's meaningful to them, right? It triggers that emotional response, and they can identify and say, yes, that's something I can identify with. There's a pain point there. Marketers now have access to more information than ever before and better insight into their customers due to all of this data that is now available. So let's say, for example, if your company is targeting, um, let's say 50 key accounts, right? You can build in ad campaigns designed to engage those named accounts and also target those companies with custom content, right? Something that really is applicable to them, and also ads across multiple channels presenting at the optimal time. So although it's going to require more time on the front end to set up your personalization initiatives, the results are going to far outweigh producing content that's going to be just targeted to a wide audience, right? Casting out that wide net. So let's move on to our next slide here. So why inbound personalization? Why are companies starting to use this as a marketing technique? So according to a seismic and demand metrics survey, 80% of the respondents said that business objectives were better met with personalized content. So that's a huge number, right? 80%. So it definitely says there's something to this personalized approach. By using inbound personalization, as I've mentioned, it really enables you to connect with your prospects and customers, right? Allowing you to create that immediate emotional response with your customers and prospects by delivering personalized messaging that resonates with them. So being able to, for example, deliver content on your website based on, let's say, title, industry, or even company size is going to be much more meaningful to your customers or prospects. The messaging that is displayed, for example, to a CMO should be much more at a high level, right? More strategic around marketing strategies and current marketing trends. Maybe not necessarily focused on the day-to-day pain points that, let's say, for example, a marketing manager might experience with, the data collected on their landing forms, landing pages, etc., right? So as I mentioned earlier, the amount of data that is now available, there not only is there this massive amount of data available, there's also now tools available that use all of the data and allow you to effectively deliver that personalized messaging to your prospects and customers, which will help drive your personalization efforts. Having the right tools is essential in order to be able to deliver this material at the appropriate time. Marketo and HubSpot both offer personalization tools. Marketo's real-time personalization tool helps drive your personalization initiatives by presenting messaging to your prospects and customers, which will then in turn allow you to convert those prospects that you don't know. And then you can engage the ones that you do already know by delivering relevant content, and then also target your key accounts as well. It allows you to nurture your customers over time based on what you already know about them, who they are, where they work, and how they behave really across all web and other channels as well. HubSpot's personalization tool also allows you to deliver optimized personal messaging to your customers and prospects by presenting messaging to your prospects and customers at the right time. So HubSpot's personalization tool has smart content, which allows for built-in personalization, so you can show the most relevant message to each of your customers. This is a interesting statistic here from HubSpot. So HubSpot looked at the data from more than 93,000 CTAs created using HubSpot over a 12-month period. And what they found were the calls to actions targeted to the actual user performed 42% better than the calls to action that were generic. So both of these tools, Marketo's real-time personalization and HubSpot's real-time personalization smart content, allow you to present that personalized messaging at the right time, and also allows for the ability to who sees what. All right, so quality data and web personalization. So you can't, like I mentioned earlier, personalize content without quality data, right? Um, the data that is collected on landing pages and form fills is extremely important for personalization efforts. Um, if you're receiving unreliable data, it's going to be nearly impossible to effectively deliver that personalized content to your customers and prospects. Our Smart Forms product has the ability to collect all of a prospect's firmographic and demographic information on the first form fill, which is going to enable you as a marketer to deliver more optimized messaging on subsequent visits to the website. So if the data you are collecting is not verified quality data, you will be unable to deliver optimal messaging to your customers or prospects, right? Through whether it's either through email or on the website. So kind of like the old saying, garbage in equals garbage out. Um, Inbound personalization really relies on quality data as a power source. So without quality data, there's no way to have effective inbound personalization that's going to deliver quality, relevant messaging. So just like your car that's fueled with gasoline, inbound personalization is fueled by quality data. Here's another interesting metric here. According to Seismic and Demand Metric Report of the respondents not currently personalizing content, 53% noted a lack of data as being their primary obstacle. So this just reiterates how important it is to have that clean, quality data that you can use then to work with your personalization efforts within your organization. All right, so poor database quality. So poor database quality is often one of the biggest obstacles we marketers face, right, in order to effectively reach our prospects. And by poor database quality, what I'm referring to is either having old or bad email addresses, incomplete or even missing data in some cases, and duplicate records, right? Among other factors that sometimes just make it almost impossible to reach your prospects or target accounts successfully. In fact, according to Marketing Sherpa, 50%, right, which is half of all email addresses go bad every 12 months. And only 21% of prospects actually provide their accurate number, their actual number on the form fill. And I have to admit, sometimes I've been guilty of that, of not providing the right numbers. Sometimes you don't want a salesperson to call you back, right? So as you can see, I mean, these are just good metrics around data quality and data health, and just kind of shows you how often and frequently it changes. And so then how important it is to keep that information updated and clean on a regular basis, right? All right, so let's move on to our next slide. So the benefits of capturing high-value lead data at the point of entry in real time. So real time, that's the important piece here, right? So as you can see, the importance of capturing that high-value data at the point of entry in real time is going to be critical, right, for inbound personalization efforts. So without your accurate data, there's no way to provide relevant messaging to your customers or prospects. There's often a painful gap on your registration forms between having to keep them short so that the conversion rates will still stay high, while still capturing all that rich data needed for personalization, right? So there's always that balance, right? If they're too long, then people are going to abandon. If they're too short, you're not gathering the information that you really need to market. The need to append and enrich data in real time is crucial for successful personalization, as I've pointed out. So making sure account data is accurate, organized, is a must for lead scoring, routing, and nurturing as well. So now what I'm going to do is walk you through how smart forms can help to combat incomplete data from your leads by importing clean, validated, and standardized data at the point of entry in real time. All right, so how does it work? How does Smart Forms work? So Smart Forms sits on top of any existing form in a marketing automation platform or other lead form software. So here you can see I'm showing an example of an existing customer of ours, Hortonworks, using Smart Forms on their Contact Us page. You can see I've entered my marketing leader's information here on the form. And what Smart Forms then is going to do once I hit submit, it's going to gather behind the scenes all of that firmographic and demographic information for our company. So then after hitting submit, you can see Smart Forms is now requesting that I verify which company I'm with. And the reason for this feature is that it really improves the accuracy of the match between the company and the information it provides. So even if I chose none of the above, Smart Forms chooses for me. So once a prospect submits their information, Smart Forms is going to append all of the company lead data in real time and send it to your marketing automation platform or CRM, however you have that set up within your organization. I also want to point out that this pop-up window is fully customizable, right? So including the number of companies that are suggested, as well as the algorithm of how Smart Forms determines which companies' selections to suggest or choose as well. All right, so here you see an illustration of the type of information that you will receive. So on the right is all the information that Smart Forms is appending alongside the manually entered information from the prospect. I will definitely point out that this is only a sampling of data, as there are actually over 120 data points that are available for appending, including installed technology or all of the corporate hierarchy information. So again, Smart Forms truly is completely configurable, so you can consume as many of these data points as you would like, or as little, depending on what's necessary for your, or required rather, for your specific business needs. One of the cool features of Smart Forms structured data is that it provides company information for domestic offices and the global parent company as well. So this can be really helpful when it comes to segmentation and trying to identify the possibility of a much larger opportunity that might be available. So here you see another visualization of how Smart Forms captures the necessary and accurate data on the first form fill, and then therefore on subsequent forms marketers can really focus on using progressive profiling fields to capture important BANT information, right? Since on the first form fill, Smart Forms already appended all of that firmographic and demographic data, which then is going to allow you to ask those more direct questions that might help getting that further down the pipeline there. So Smart Forms really allows for more effective personalization for node leads, which is going to help shorten the length of the buyer's journey through the funnel and also close the loop on lead to opportunity conversion, right? And then improving the direct ROI, right, for all your marketing programs. All right, so customer adoption of Reachforce Smart Forms. So as you can see, there are many benefits for having enriched marketing data, and this chart just represents the reasons why our customers are adopting Smart Forms. So as you can see, most of them are not just adopting for one reason, but for multiple. The top reasons include simplification of lead handoffs. So having the ability to route leads to your sales team in an efficient manner is huge. Um, Power lead scoring and marketing automation, as well as enhanced targeting and segmentation. So these are just a few of the top reasons why people are adopting smart forms. In this slide, you can see the significant increase in the conversions and the decrease in the cost per lead that our customer Marketo experienced by shortening their forms. So you can see on the right, they originally had 9 fields, and then they shortened down to 7, and then on the left, down to 5. And so you can see that they experienced their highest conversion and their lowest cost per lead while still receiving even more data, right, than on the original form that had 9 fields when implementing smart forms. So you can see their cost per lead dropped from 41.9 down to 31.24, and their conversion, right, went from 10% up to 13.4%. That's a pretty big jump there. All right, here you see some success metrics from a case study that our customer Hortonworks shared with us from our joint customer Marketo, and the success that they experienced after implementing our SmartForms product and Marketo's personalization tool that I had mentioned earlier. So Marketo's real-time personalization and our SmartForms product, it enabled Hortonworks to quickly scale their demand generation efforts. SmartForms helped by capturing all of that valuable data that they needed from their site visitors by appending up to 100 different data points, including address, industry, and revenue. And because of this data, their lead routing accuracy improved 43%. That's huge. So salespeople no longer had to go into the queue and figure out which leads belonged to them. They could just go directly to the ones that were theirs and contact them immediately. And the real-time personalization piece is delivering relevant, individualized content. So the combination of the data and the targeting has matured their inbound strategy and enhanced the digital lead flow phenomenally. So you can see, yeah, 43% increase in lead routing and a 47% conversion rate for their top targeted campaign after implementing both SmartForms and Marketo's real-time personalization tool. So I would say, you know, in summary, when it comes to the data that you're using to fuel inbound personalization, your data needs to be complete, consistent, and clean, right? And on an ongoing basis. So if your data is not complete, consistent, and clean, it's going to be extremely difficult to see those results that you're hoping to achieve with your personalization initiatives. Reachforce's SmartForms captures real-time, verified data that helps marketers better segment, target qualified leads, allowing you to deliver that optimal messaging at the appropriate time to your customers and prospects. All right, so now I'm going to open it up for just a short Q&A. Looks like we have about 3 minutes, and again, as I mentioned, if your question is not answered, I will definitely follow up with you after the webcast and address any of those. So let's get to our first question here. So first question, will SmartForms interfere with my existing landing pages? So no, it won't. That's a really great question. So SmartForms will not interfere. It can be configured to work on any online lead form, including any of the marketing automation platforms, as well as CRMs. Thanks for submitting that. That's a great question. All right, let's move on to our next question here. How does the flow work? So SmartForms. So how does it work? So it's a lightweight piece of JavaScript that sits on the page. the page form. So what you're going to do is create hidden fields for all the data points that you want to capture, and then Smart Forms will populate that data and will be along for the ride with the form as it normally would. So thanks for submitting that. Another really great question. All right, we have time for just a couple more questions. Let's get to our next question here. All right, so do we get the data in real time? So another great question. So yes, so the data is appended to the inbound lead at the point of lead conception in your marketing automation platform or CRM. Again, depending on how you have that set up within your organization. So another great question. Thank you for submitting that. I'm going to answer, I think we have time for one more question, and then I will follow up with the others after the webcast. So let's see, the next question is, do you provide global information? So that is a great question. So yes, we have over 225 million records in our database and a very strong global data set. So thank you for submitting that. Thanks again for all of your questions. Great questions. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. We have about a minute before we're to our time. So after the webinar concludes, you will receive a survey. If you wouldn't mind, please taking a minute to complete the survey to let us know what topics you would like to see covered in the future, and if you would possibly be interested in speaking on one of these Smart Forms webinar series. I would love to hear any feedback from you guys, and thanks again for joining us today. I hope this was informative, hope it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. All right, have a great day. Thanks again. Bye-bye.